Dan Hudak, how we doing?
John Bajetta. You sounded like that voice in front of the movie. John Bajetta.
Yep, that deep. Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about when in Rome. And
Mhm.
and what got me thinking about this is certain things you talk a lot about. So you talk about you meet a new prospect and they ask you, hey, would you like something to drink? And your response is,
Are you going to have something?
there we go. Kind of that when in Rome feel. I'm going to follow your lead in essence. So can you talk about those kinds of little things that can actually have a really big impact, especially on the front end of a conversation?
First, you have to find pain. So let's know that that's happening. When you have found pain, then it's a great question to go, hey, how do you guys make decisions around here? Like, what happens here? I remember I was talking to a very, very large global company. And I was at, we spoke about titles earlier, but I was at the senior VP level, pretty high up in this particular department. And I said, where does this go from here? How do we do this? And she laid it all out. This is what needs to happen. They're going to want to see and hear this from you. And I said, any chance I'm going to meet them? And she's like, no chance in the world, but here's what we're going to do. Right. But the key was, and I'll never forget this, she said, hey, Dan, I'm going to fight for this because of the things we just discussed, which were her job was on the line, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So you got to find pain and then ask, what's the roadmap to get to work here? And then you can decide if you like it or not. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah, our company's small in the grand scheme of things and what you're comparing to, but we have a process for evaluating and determining and deciding and who's in the conversation, who's not. All companies do. I'm shocked at the number of salespeople that don't ask that basic question, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that when in Rome, when you're in their environment, understand how they do things so you can fit in. But you can also at certain points push back. If it
Yes.
makes sense to push back. It's not just about, oh, that's what you want me to do, therefore I'm going to do it. It's, hey, there are spots you need to say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, a real good example. I received a phone call from a salesperson of a probably mid-size account. And he said, hey, my president wanted me to call around and get pricing and get program ideas. Can you give me some information?
Yes.
Right. And I said, happy to do that. But let me tell you where this has to go. Where this has to go is eventually I need to have a conversation with the president.
Yep.
So could you ask the president if he is willing to take a 15-minute phone call from me? That was probably 3 months ago. I had that conversation with the salesperson. Never happened. And I even rehearsed them, and I get it. But here's what happens: the presidents are like, do this, do this, do this, and then when there's a least likely pushback, we don't need to do it. And you know what? It's okay. But what I'm not going to do is spin my wheels with a salesperson who doesn't have the authority.
Correct.
In a small or mid-sized account, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, and I think what you're describing there is all the things we talk about and coach on and get your advice on. You face all these things yourself. It's it's not like it's not a reality for you. It's sales.
I look pretty old for a 25-year-old, don't I? I mean, I've been through
too.
sales a lot. Yeah, it's hard.
On that note, see you tomorrow.
See you later, John.